Newsbreak. American families experience a tragedy in Mexico.
University of Illinois Police Department makes interview rooms more comfortable.
And a look into women's basketball coach Nancy Faye.
All this and more on today's show. UI7 Newsbreak starts now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, this is your UI7 Newsbreak.
Hello, I'm Liz Restrepo.
And I'm Kenya Williams.
This past Monday, 9 American travelers were killed in Mexico. Whether it was drug-related or a case of mistaken identity, the citizens made a call to action to end violence.
Newsbreak Taylor Howard tell us how families are asking for answers.
A lot of us are just speechless. It's horrific.
Members of the victims' families are struggling after the attack, which left 9 people dead, including 3 women and 6 children. As a precaution, dual citizen travelers went through Sonora to Chihuahua, Mexico, but the motives behind the attack is unknown. 5 of the 7 children were able to escape, but other victims were shot, and over 200 bullets were found at the scene. The cartel became the focus of the investigation. The Mexican government and other law enforcement landed in La Mora on Monday to aid in medical care. The Senate committee held a hearing to discuss the threats to the United States.
The violence and disregard for human life displayed by these criminal organizations is as barbaric and gruesome as any terrorist organization we see around the globe.
Families of the victims are speaking out and encouraging people to stop gang violence. They say they want the government to prevent similar incidents.
Calling on our governments and our sovereign countries to help us and provide answers. These kinds of injustices and atrocities should never be.
Officials have taken control. President of Mexico, López Obrador, called a commission to take action against gun violence. President Trump offered to help with the investigation, but was declined. As of now, the community is mourning and waiting on any updates.
There's not words in the English language that can describe the emotions of what it feels like to see it.
With UI7 Newsbreak, I'm Taylor Howard.
There are updates on the Milwaukee man who was assaulted by having battery acid thrown in his face. Police have arrested a suspect on what they are calling a hate crime. Newsbreak's Armani Baker says that suspect has now been charged.
On Mahoud Vielas' face, and cameras captured the argument between the 2 men when the attack took place.
They start burning us really bad. It starts go screaming for help to the restaurant.
The attack occurred on Friday. The acid caused second-degree burns and severe scarring to Vielas' face.
30 years, so, I'm comfortable. That's why I was shocked to hear something like that happened over here.
I've been around all my life. Not much has happened like that.
I don't want this guy near my kids, my family, or everything like that.
The suspect is a 61-year-old who was arrested on Saturday. In a statement, the Vielas family thanked Chief Alfonso and the Milwaukee Police Department for their help and support.
I hope they give him what he deserves, because that man did not deserve to have that thrown in his face like that.
It makes me feel a lot more safer around here. Another dangerous man off the streets,
The argument between the men began about a parking space, but resulted with the attack. Neighbors and residents are taking necessary steps to be cautious of their environment due to this vicious incident.
Every day is getting a little bit harder, for just a Hispanic male around here.
And be more alert out here, because it's just not the same like it used to be when I was growing up.
Armani Baker, UI7 Newsbreak.
This morning, a mass email was sent out to all faculty and students about a campus crime. Shortly after midnight, a robbery took place on the South Quad of University campus. The student was struck and his cell phone was taken. No weapons were seen during the incident and no injuries were reported. The University and Police Department encouraged students to contact them if someone knows anything about the encounter. Public safety reminds everyone on campus to stay together, be alert, and watch out for one another. New changes are coming to the University of Illinois Police Department. UIPD is introducing a new, more comfortable interview room for investigations. The interview room is part of a remodel process of the public safety building. Instead of hard chairs and plain walls, the room features soft couches, warm lighting, and homey decor. Police plan to use the room to speak to the victims of crimes, especially victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, and other emotionally tough subjects.
I mean, we have to ask the questions, but hopefully this makes it a little easier to answer and a little more comfortable, and they can get more comfortable with the person that's actually doing the interview.
The Women's Resource Center is celebrating 10 years of advocacy work on campus this year. Students can view history of the center throughout November. When entering the main library, students are able to see what women have worked to promote gender rights on campus over the past 10 years. The exhibit featuring newspaper clippings, old books, and advertisements will be on display until the end of November. Next week, the center will host several celebrations throughout next week.
The Illinois women's basketball team kicked off their season with a win against Chicago State this past Tuesday. However, getting wins isn't just about playing well on the court. Newsbreak's Alex Aguilera spoke with head coach Nancy Fay about building relationships with her players.
31 years in basketball has taught a lot to head coach Nancy Fay. With the new season ahead of her, one thing has remained consistent between her and her players: a relationship.
You can get caught up with a lot of things at this level and forget about the most important thing, and that's spending time with the players, talking to them, seeing how their days are. I think when you can only be a really good coach for a player if you know them way beyond just their jump shot.
One of the most important foundations with Coach Fay is loyalty.
The thing that I appreciate about those guys is their loyalty and their ability to kind of stick with it when it's not easy. That doesn't happen sometimes at collegiate levels. You see a lot of people transfer, but the loyalty, I think, is extremely important. Building that has been through time, and we can't just not rush through that in the sense of getting to know your players, gaining their trust, and I just feel fortunate that they've given me that opportunity.
Redshirt junior Petra Holoshinska showed that loyalty on Tuesday, and freshman Kennedy Miles took notice.
When it comes to Petra, it's energy. She's that type of leader. She may not be very vocal, but you watch her in practice, you watch her, you hear about her, you hear what coach says, you hear what other players say, so it's like, you see she has that fire and that energy, and it just makes it really easy to follow.
That leadership and loyalty comes back to Coach Fay.
I want to shout out Coach for that. It's just our blend as a team, like you can tell in our practices and the way we just blend makes that a lot easier for us to get on the court and start with that type of energy.
And that establishment of relationships between Fay and her players resulted in a win on Tuesday to start the season. Alex Aguilera, UI7 Newsbreak.
It looks like the cold weather will continue to the weekend. Let's take a look at the upcoming forecast. We have a high of 34 and a low of 22. It will be sunny partly on Friday. Also Saturday, it will be sunny, partly sunny. A low of 35 and a high of 48. Also Sunday, it will be a high of 49 and a low of 27.
Wow, it really looks like it's going to start getting cold this weekend, down in the 20s. I'm not excited to start putting on my winter coat.
Yes, I need to get all my equipment. Like, I need to get from the coat to the shoes and make sure I use heat.
Oh yeah, definitely going to have to bring up that heat.
Coming up, construction on Daniel Street is officially underway.
And a dog was found in Kaufman Lake.
Stick around, we will be right back.
Dan and I are having a little competition to see who can grow the best beard by Friday, and I wouldn't even really call it a competition because there's really no competition at all. I mean, I shaved last night and already, look at this, it's basically a full beard. I plan on probably lathering up with some oils each night. See, Dan, he's not thinking this much into it.
It's like the scalp of your face. That's what your beard is. It's strong, but also soft.
I mean, just look at him, he's got nothing going on.
With a touch of gentleness. Like the sweet kiss of a crisp autumn wind.
So it should be a cakewalk for me, most likely.
So me and Joey are having a little contest to see who can grow more facial hair for the show for No Shave November. I usually exfoliate with horse shampoo, for the keratin and the shine and the gloss, but I've got another secret weapon that I think just might help. Alright, here we go. This is the stuff right here. I got this. In less than 1 hour, I have the greatest beard at U of I.
So things have taken a turn.
I was honestly a little skeptical of this hair tonic, considering I bought it from a guy who lives behind the psych building, but I think I got this in the bag. It's pretty good.
It seems Dan has had some accelerated growth.
Hey, what's up, guys?
The Senate unanimously passed a bill to make animal cruelty a felony. The PACT Act stands for Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture. A person can be prosecuted for animal fighting, drowning, burning, and suffocating animals. Officials can also prosecute people if the crime occurs on federal property. If Trump signs the bill, this will allow officers to go after criminals throughout the United States. As opposed to the previous state-by-state law, this law will also extend hunting expectations.
The PACT Act may impact the lives of animals around the country. Newsbreak's Maddie Arrett has the story on a local dog making headlines.
Thanks, Liz. Dogs are known as man's best friend, but a recent incident at a Champaign lake has a new meaning for the term. I was able to meet with a lucky pup who was given a second chance at life. Still a little shy and weary, but with a quick shake, Dory is getting the help she needs. Last weekend, Dory was found by a fisherman in Lake Kaufman. Dr. Carla Rivera treated the 8-month-old pit bull upon her arrival.
Well, when she first came in, she obviously was in pain, and you could see that she wasn't moving at all. She was just basically just laying in the table.
She was found with wounds that the University of Illinois Small Animal Clinic staff believe likely occurred before her rescue. Dr. Jenica Harashek describes Dory's mood shift after her treatments began.
But she actually did great. She sat in the tub, she got nice warm water, we massaged her, and she actually really loved it and enjoyed it. And she's just been kind of coming to life ever since, so she's been doing great.
Good girl. Good girl, Mama.
But with plenty of treats and lots of love, Dr. Megan Fick believes this pup is on the road to recovery.
So she's acting like a puppy. Like, she wants, the second you open your cage door, she wants to come out and like sit on your lap, and she's licking your face, and her whole body moves when her tail wags. So she's gonna feel like a puppy.
Dory was cleared from the University of Veterinary Medicine and is in the hands of the Champaign County Animal Control until the investigation with the Champaign Police Department concludes. But one thing is for sure.
Someone's gonna be very lucky to have her.
That lucky someone could be the very person who found Dory, Bryant Fitz, who hopes to welcome her into his home forever. Back to you, ladies.
As for good news on campus, the League of American Bicyclists awarded the university with a Silver Bicycle Award. The designation was honored for U of I promoting a bike-friendly campus, including its bike paths, bike lane improvement projects, and parking additions. The campus maintained a bronze-level certification since 2011 and was recognized as one of the top 94 colleges in the country that took steps to address health and challenges safer and welcoming areas for bike riders.
This week, construction started on the northeast intersection of Daniel Street and 6th Street. A mass mail was sent out notifying everyone that construction has officially begun on campus. The location is being prepared for a new apartment and retail complex coming in 2021. Construction workers have made sure that by putting up Jersey barrier protection, the bookstore still remains accessible. And water lines are also being prepped. Cars are allowed through Daniel Street, but it may not be the easiest to drive through. Buildings still remain up and will be torn down at some point soon. Yes, are you ready for this construction?
No, I am not ready for that, but I mean, it has to be done. At least it'll be easier to get around campus soon.
Yes.
All right, so for more of our stories, please follow us on Facebook.
Or see more of our stories on our YouTube page.
That is all we have for this edition of UI7 Newsbreak.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day.